Morning we saw about Swarupa Dharma, consciousness. Then we also saw about Swadharma, how to identify our true inner calling. One aspect of Dharma also is right and wrong. Do you believe that there is something called right and wrong? There is? Or is it all relative? There is nothing called right and wrong. There is. Then what about relative? It is relative, but still there is right and wrong. Okay, so situationally right and wrong may change.
Actually, there is nothing right.
That's my question. So practically there is nothing called right and wrong. Situation wise it changes. So right now in this situation, suppose I say that I steal something from you, it is right or wrong? Okay. Suppose there is some other situation where let us say I don't have money, I steal from you. Why? My situation changed. Now earlier I had money, I stole, it is wrong. Now I don't have money, I want to survive, so I stole. It is right?
Because you're doing it might be right to you, but for the other people,
so it is right for me, so I can do. So then I should not be punished. Why should the court of law punish? Well, it is right for me, no?
But there are some
Well, 1 minute.
Is a right reason for doing the wrong thing?
It is the right reason for doing the wrong thing. So that way, though, a lot of things can be justified. Right reason is how is it that if I steal from somebody, it is the right reason for doing that wrong thing? Are there no other solutions available for me to earn my livelihood or figure out is the stealing the only method possible and let that get justified?
right reason again
Depends upon perception.
right reason, the definition of right reason again depends on it will change from person to person.
So that's my point here. That's why I asked you the first question, is there something called right and wrong? If you say that right and wrong is dependent on situation, right and wrong differs from person to person, and still if you say that yes, there is something called right and wrong, is this even not contradictory? Somebody was saying something else when I said let her finish. Who was saying something?
that there are certain universal values though on which it is decided whether it's right or wrong.
So in this example of stealing, what will you say?
It's wrong. It's still wrong, even though he stole it, even though he needed it, the other person who he stole it from didn't know his point of view.
So it is wrong because of the other person's perception, is it? Why is it wrong?
He worked hard.
He worked hard for it. Correct. It is his. Okay.
You did wrong by stealing money because it's something wrong to do. You can earn money through various ways other than stealing. So there are a lot of ways which is right for you. For example, you can do a job or anything else. So stealing is not the only way to earn.
Okay. You were saying something?
Every situation has many choices, but in the end, it will come to two decisions right and wrong. Any situation is always going to be right and wrong, even when you do it. How much you try to convince yourself that whatever you're doing is right, inside you know what's wrong and right. So if you follow that, then you will do the right.
So, but that depends on how much my conscience is tuned. No doubt, my conscience is one of the very important factors to determine what is right and wrong. But if my conscience is not tuned, I may feel from inside that it is right that I stole. I may feel right that the terrorist who blows himself up feels that it's the right thing that person is doing. Because he is tuned to that ideology to think like that, you see. So we have to understand one thing, that yes, right and wrong wrong appears to be relative. Right and wrong has many different gray areas, which is not why it is so easy to determine exactly this is right, this is wrong, it is not white and black. But that's why the thinking power is very important and discrimination is important. We should be able to separate in a gray area what is black, what is white, and then choose the black. Choose the white. That's why the duty is given to us as human beings. So, what determines what is right and wrong? First and foremost will be the universal values. Would you want anybody to steal from you? Then how can you say that you stealing from somebody gets justified? It cannot get justified. You don't want anybody to steal from you. Would you want anybody to come and tell lies to you? You want transparency? You want truth? Then you have to give truth. So, simple way to know right and wrong is do unto others what you want them to do to you. That is one possibility, one way. But that alone cannot decide. There are different factors, and which is why, because the situations become complex and challenging to identify, there is not one parameter. There are many parameters to understand certain things, and then come to a decision. So one is the universal values. If you want to live, do you have right to take somebody's life? Would you like somebody to come and kill you? No. Or hurt you, harm you, damage you? No. So live and let live. Can we say that it depends on perception from person to person? Some ideologies feel that if you don't believe in their ideology, you deserve to be killed. They are right in their own way. Can we say that? That is their thinking, Swamiji. Right and wrong depends on person to person, situation to situation. If that person feels they want to kill me, it's all right. Will we say that? It's a fundamental right to live and let live. So, universal values, they will govern first what is right and wrong. And that's why we have law. Because if somebody violates a universal value, that person has to face the consequence. Otherwise, no one will get away with anything in the name of it is a personal choice. Second, our stage of life also determines what is right and what is wrong. As a student, as a householder, as a retired person, as a renunciate, broad stages that our culture gives. You can take it age-wise also certain things, not necessarily only by this over ashram vyavastha, that is one which our Sanatana Dharma gives. But as a child, when you are in the hands of your parent or anybody, you kick them, will it be an offense? Now you have become a 20-year-old person and you kick. Your stage of life it is. It will determine what is right, what is wrong. As a person who was dependent, let us say, financially, I am not able to support my parents in financial way. I can help in some other ways. But now that I am earning, and if a parent is in the need and I don't support and I dump them somewhere, and I even leave them like so many people do. They just dump their parents on a railway station, bus stop somewhere, and they just disappear. It is such a sad thing for people to do, and the parent to face, because now he can't even go back home because he knows that the child doesn't want him. Can we say it is wrong or right? The person has done wrong. No, who told the parent to bring me into the world without my consent? I don't know if you are aware, there was one boy who put a case also on the parent that you brought me into the world without my consent. Ridiculous level things go into. So your stage of life will determine what are the duties and what is right and what is wrong. As a student, how much hard work one is supposed to do and do what one went for to the college or the school and study, because how much hard work parents have put in to get you into that place, and they are still doing that hard work. And if I take a casual attitude and I say, I am not interested, I don't want to study, I will be the cool dude, I don't want to be the nerd, Can we say, I do what I feel like doing something? There's nothing but right and wrong. Then you should have had the guts to say to the parents that I will not study and I don't want to study. I live with my life the way I want to live with it. You don't take responsibility. But one doesn't do that. One wants to go to the best of schools many times. One wants to then bunk and appear as so-called good and not to read, study properly and all that. And that is wrong. So the purpose of knowing right and wrong is not to brand somebody. The purpose of knowing right and wrong is to make clear-cut, proper choices to improve ourselves and to make our potential manifest. So first is the the universal values. Second is the roles that the stage of life. Third is the roles that we play. As a son, as a friend, as a brother, employer, so many roles we place. Each role has certain do's and don'ts. One should adhere to those, and especially when one is working in an organization also will have the rules or not. Can one say that no, I behave the way I want to behave to help with the rules of the organization? There is nothing called right and wrong. It has to go by the policy. So your roles that one plays. As a friend, there are certain roles that one is expected to play. When your friend is in deep distress, should you be there or not for them? No, Swami, I am there only in good times. If you are not a good friend, that is wrong. So roles of life, stage of life, universal values. Fourth, your own temperament also. Like Arjun wanting to run away from the battlefield there, in the name of Ahimsa, was he doing the right thing? He is not made for that, to go into the forest and become a sannyasi and meditate there. We would not have the problem of save the rhino or save the tiger because by now they would have been extinct. Arjun would have sat in the forest and killed all of them. So he can't meditate. So, my swadharma, my temperament, what is my temperament also determines. If I am not ready for something and I take that up, I can make a mess of it. What also results in maximum good, that is one of the criteria. By fighting this war, Arjun and Yudhishthira and Pandavas, they established dharma. And that is in betterment of the society. Though there may be a lot of violence which happened, but that was a lot of cleansing that society needed. So what will lead to the maximum good in line with the higher values, universal values, that will also determine what is right and what is wrong. And finally, it is your conscience. If you have done the right thing, your conscience will not prick. After you follow these few points, your conscience also will determine that. You have a calm mind, you can sleep peacefully, you can look in the eyes of the elders, the gurus, Lord, you have not done anything wrong, you don't feel guilty, and you look at yourself, you don't feel shame, guilty, anything in the mirror when you see, because you have done what has to be done. These few factors will help us to know what is right and what is wrong. And always remember the intention and the motive are very, very important. Can one say that ignorance of the law? So suppose I didn't know certain rules. Income tax rules, suppose I don't know. Sales tax rules, suppose I don't know. Even some of the rules made for public, let us say smoking in public is banned. Now somebody comes and finds us for it. If you say I didn't know, will the law allow you to get away with it? One has to know. One has to gain the knowledge. Same way, we have to know what is right and what is wrong, how to know what is right and what is wrong. So the scriptural literature helps us to do that. It is not that scriptures are saying you should do this, you should not do this, this is like a commandment and you have to follow. Our culture doesn't give that way commandments. It gives principles of guidelines by which we can find out what is right and what is wrong. And in some situations, there are instructions also given that these are the things which are right, these are the things which are wrong. but they are not what we say as the lines of stone. They are flexible also depending on situation, but in line with these principles that we discussed. That's the literature which helps us to understand this is called the Smritis. In our culture, those are the Smritis. Vedas are the eternal principles, they are called Shruti. And the Smritis, they give the principles as per time, how contexts have changed, how to apply these values, principles in the changing times. So many books are there for it. There are many great masters who have written, it is not one book. There is Yagyavalkya Smriti, Manu Smriti, Parashar Smriti. So many books are there. Specifically for Kali Yuga, it is the Smriti which is Parashar Smriti. Vedavyasaji's father, he wrote that book, Parashar Smriti. And of course, it can be adapted to the present times also. It is not necessarily it has to be followed as it is in today's times. So this is the broad general understanding of right and wrong. And if we find it difficult to read the Vedas or the Smritis, we can definitely read Bhagavad Gita, and that is also a Smriti which will help us to understand how to know what is right, what is wrong, how to tune up our decision making. So in the 16th chapter, the Lord says this, that how to know what is right and wrong, scriptures are the valid means. If you want to study science, which books will you take up? Will you take up any books of art and literature and then try to figure out science from that? If you want to study architecture, which books will you take? Books on architecture. If you want to understand morality and ethics, which books will you take? You have to take from spiritual literature, you have to take the Smritis and the Gita. And lots of things which are written in that are what the books of law also may say. So the idea here is the right means of knowledge we have to choose. To understand about the self, to understand higher values, to understand the oneness of this individual with the world and creation. If we choose books of science, we are limiting ourselves. Because they are not a valid means. They can only explain about certain phenomena and reasoning why certain things happen. But the deeper oneness of life, if one has to understand, one has to go to the valid means. And right and wrong is based on those deeper values what we saw in the morning. Like we said, there is a oneness in all of us. So if I hurt somebody and do something wrong, whom am I hurting first? Me as an individual and me also as this whole one being. That the deeper aspect of life is that. It is like my hand poking my own eye. So if I hurt somebody, that other person also is me in another form as consciousness. So I am only hurting the other person who is me only. And that's why our culture places right and wrong in this deeper context of vision of oneness. It is not just some do's and don'ts. Now this is the basic background I have given to you.